This is a Soviet 9130. It was developed in 1891 as a type. I think it was type 1891. Later, it was updated, I guess 1930s or so, or 1929, something like that, and it became known as the 9130. It was some 30, I think 36 million were made throughout its history from 1891 up until 1973, I believe. I know Cuba has a whole boatload of these in all their different variants. This is called a hex receiver. You see the top is a little flat hexagon shape. These are really sought after. They're rather expensive. These are the early models. It was switched over to a round receiver top like that sometime in 19 early 30s. I guess in ease of production. Yeah, the hex receivers are the most collectible. These round receivers they're decent. I got one 1938, which I'm about to show here. When I first got it, it was just a barrel and a receiver. I've always wanted a PU sniper, like you see here. PU snipers were developed basically as Soviet sniper rifles. They had a little three-power scope on it. The scope wasn't the best. I ain't gonna lie about that. Um, these are rather expensive. When you can find one, they can range up into the thousands of dollars. Unfortunately, when I received my little 9130, all I had was a barrel and receiver, much like you see here. No wood, nothing on the stock. Yeah, I think I paid about 150 for what I got. I've always wanted a PU sniper, and just the price of these things are just outrageous. Like I said, 1,000 plus for a decent PU sniper. It's hard to really convert a 9130 into a PU sniper because the way the scope is actually mounted on a receiver. You have to do a lot of drilling and modifications because the PU snipers were actually built as sniper rifles. It wasn't like you just throw a scope on it and go. But I had my little part and I converted mine. Yeah, it fires a 7.62 by 54R. The cartridge I almost say is about the same as a American 308. The velocity is around 2,600 feet per second, give or take, to what kind of ammo you have. It comes in all flavors of brass case, steel cased, silver tips, which are armor piercing. Um, so yeah, it comes in all different flavors. The most common being this full metal jacket, steel cased ammo. The old Russian ammo. You can find some golden. I think Golden Tiger is called from China, from Romania and stuff. Some of the older ammo you got to be a little bit careful with. Surplus military ammo often had corrosive primers, and the prolonged use of that ammo and not cleaning your firearm would cause a lot of corrosion, mostly in the breech and along the barrel. The rifling will often get corroded and pretty wore out. That's why a lot of the 1970s and older, basically, and I guess some American ammo, but most of it's Russian ammo. It can be corrosive. Now this is my, I could say, Frankenstein 9130. Like I said, all I had was a receiver and barrel, so I had to find a way. I couldn't find stocks. I would love to have an original 9130 stock. It's all wood and everything, beautiful, beautiful wood. But when I go online, I can't find them or they want such a high price for these things that it's not affordable. So I bought a stock. I can't remember. It's an Archangel stock. I don't remember if it was Archangel. Archangel is made by Magpul or I don't remember. But it's the Archangel stock, 10 round magazine. The scope and the scope mount, that was the hard part. This is a 1938 Tula 9130 made in the Tula plant in the Soviet Union. So I went ahead, since it wasn't original, nothing was original, none of the wood was original. I decided to go ahead and have the receiver drilled and tapped, and I put a Picatinny rail on it. Shopped around for a scope because the price of an original 1940s 1930s PU scope is just crazy amount of money. But I did find a Russian made um, copy, is a actually a Russian made copy of a PU scope, and it's well, it's such a good copy that the scope sucks. It's not an American scope, so it was built using totally different mindset of how scope should function. But being a Soviet a Russian replica, yeah, it works. It's okay scope. Three power zoom. You can't change the zoom. The crosshairs are basically one bar down one bar going across the scope with a break in the middle and a bar going up with a triangle on it. About as simple as that as it can get. I can't remember how much I paid for this. It wasn't. It was a fraction of the cost of an original PU scope. I've seen those run up to $300-400 sometimes because people collect them. But the replica. Oh, I think I paid maybe under 200, like 180 or something like that. You can see here the 1938 stamped into the top of the barrel. The star and the triangle, or the star and the arrow, that's the marking of the Tula Arms Factory. The cool thing about these old rifles, the old 9130s, is when they were being built, every person that touched it stamped their own mark into the barrel as a proof of inspection when they inspected them. So these things have cool little marks and stamps all over the barrels. Yeah, this is the trigger. Another, it's a triangle with a arrow. Um, Again, all these little marks mean something. I don't know them, honestly. This is another part, another cartouche they often call them, with a circle 5. I can't remember exactly where this was on the rifle. This is on the bolt. Another star, another triangle with a arrow, another strange cartouche, also stamped. This is again on the side of the barrel. Each little marking means something. This is one of the locking lugs on the bolt. And this is actually on the cocking knob, little safety part, and this another triangle with a arrow inside of it. Now a little range time. This rifle is heavy. I believe it's a 50 from tip to butt. It's about 54 inches. So it's just under 5 feet 5 feet long. A little more than 4 feet, less than 5 feet, something like that. This little the original 9130 had a fixed box magazine. It's a little when you see the trigger, a little sloped piece of metal that ran into the stock. That actually held 5 rounds. So this here for the Archangel stock, it actually came with a 10-round magazine and a 5-round magazine. The 5-round magazine to me works the best. The 10-round magazine often have a few little problems sometimes. The first few rounds wouldn't always want to load right, so I just sort of stopped using it and just stuck with the 5-round. But you insert it, slap it in place, throw the bolt back, and it's a pretty smooth action for a rifle that old, 1938. The recoil is stout. I mean, like I said, it's the 7.62 by 54R. It's a 308. 308 type of recoil. I mean, 308, about 308. It has about the same velocity, 308. Again, it's like 2,600 feet per second. I've seen most of the ammo, looking at 157 grain rounds. I've seen some as high as 200. which has a little bit slower velocities, and I've seen some 1,000. I'm sorry, 147 grain rounds, and I've seen those boost up to about 2,800 feet per second. Yeah, the ammo 7.62 by 54. That is, I do believe, is the longest or the oldest and longest running military ammo round in history. The Soviet Union developed it in 1891, and they actually have fielded this weapon, this ammunition, on the battlefield up until today. In fact, the Ukraine-Russian war right now, you have some Russian separatists that have. I've seen photos of them with PU snipers actually on the battlefield. It's kind of crazy if you think about it. This weapon was developed pre-World War One, and has gone through its modernizations and upgrades, and the fact that it's being used today in 2002, almost 2003, it's kind of amazing. Yeah, the mag pops right out. You hit that little latch, unlocks it. Little spring in the follower sort of pops it out, and just goes back to reloading. Again, it holds 5 rounds, and so far the mag is pretty reliable. Throughout the years, these mags were not as dependable. But oh yeah, they worked the bugs out of them and made them work. You can see I had on the side of the stock. There's a little, basically it's an AK scope mount I had mounted on the side of the stock. Before I had put that scope on, I was trying to figure out a sighting system using 2 lasers, a red and green laser, and I had a different scope on it. And the whole idea was to look through the scope, and the red laser was stationary. It just pointed right straight down the barrel. The green laser was at a certain angle, and I was trying to get it where, depending on the distance of the target, the green laser would, as the target got further away, the green laser got further from the red dot. And the calibration of the scope, I could simply look where the green laser was compared to the red laser and do a little bit of math, find out the distance of the target. And it didn't work out as I planned. It wouldn't hold 0. I have a habit of just throwing my guns around. So yeah, it didn't hold 0. So eventually I just took the lasers off. So I have a little AK scope mount on the side of the rifle, which is kind of stupid, kind of funny, but yeah. Yeah, this scope doesn't have any calibrations, any hash marks, MOAs, or mil dotting. It's just a regular, little regular bar, and 3 bars with a triangle on top with a gap. And that's you put the tip of that triangle on whatever you're trying to hit. And, that's what you aim at. That's how you aim it. It's not a traditional Western scope where you have a bullseye, a crosshairs. I'm not trying to say crosshairs, or any kind of calibration or anything. So, but yeah, it's 1940s, 1930s when they came out with the TV. It's simple scope, simple, easy to make, and like most things of the Soviet doctrine in making weapons, simple is best. Here I had some, I want to say that was Tula ammo. It's like a steel case with brass, I guess it's called steel case with brass. It's called a brass washing or copper wash cases, except something like that, copper wash. I try to get Monarch. Monarch is a Russian-made ammo company. It's an American-owned company, but they make the ammo in Russia. It comes with a nice lacquered case, traditional Russian, the way traditional Russian ammo is made. Tula ammo nowadays, I've gotten ammo from Tula from 9130 and from AK. That was just steel case ammo with no lacquer or polymer on the steel. And and in the past, since I buy in bulk, I've run into a corrosion problem with my ammo, the casing of my ammo corroding. Yeah, today I was actually shooting at 100 yards. Always, most times I get my rifles out there. I'm at 100 yards. That's where I'm at. Because 100 yards is that good median. The range I go to, it goes out to about 500 yards. Now we see here is another problem that the 9130s did have. Um, you have what's called rim lock, where if you load your rounds incorrectly, or you don't watch how you load your rounds, since they're rimmed, the rim will catch on the round below it, and it will hang up and then force it up or force it down, and I'm assuming that little design for the ammo probably cost a lot of Soviet soldiers their lives, because once your rounds are locked, you try to put that bolt home and load around, it will jam up. And you got to drop all your rounds out to fix it. If you can't dip your fingers in there and get it fixed, you have to dump your rounds. So I'm imagining many a Soviet soldier was facing a German in World War II, and pulled that bolt back and racked it home, and that round just stuck and didn't go anywhere. So this mag here sort of fixes the problem, because most times when it locks up, it shoves it up in the up direction instead of the down direction. Now all you gotta do is reach your hand in there and just pop it down, and it'll actually load in for you. So 100 yards. This was 100 rounds today. I do see I see two over his left shoulder. But 100 yards, I'm actually happy with that. I'm happy with that for 100 yards. And a rifle that old.